Hello everyone and welcome to Insurance Business TV as we take a closer look at one of this year's top insurance employers. Yes, every year Insurance Business goes on a nationwide search for the country's best, but we don't just accept self-nominations, we then require employees at those firms to tell us what they really think. Well, among this year's winners was Rightsure, and in this edition we're joined by its founder Jeff Arnold, who is also, by the way, a 5-time best-selling author. Jeff, welcome to Insurance Business TV.
Thank you, Paul. It is not our first dance here, and I have to say it's a pleasure and an honor to be back. So thank you very much.
We'll keep our dances in private from here on out, Jeff. But so Rightsure has, of course, been recognized as one of North America's most awarded insurance agencies, particularly, of course, for its workplace culture. So just tell us a little bit about that. What are the core values or the practices that have contributed most to you building such a positive and innovative environment for your employees?
Yes, thank you for that question, Paul. So I would submit to anyone listening that as you all know, this is not an easy work to repeat an award like this, or in this day and age, to keep everyone engaged and on the same page. But there exists within our culture, our ethos, our very DNA, the desire amongst everyone to create an environment that is welcoming, that everyone looks forward to coming to, because we no longer telecommute. We're all at the office, and we're going to spend as much time at the office as we are with our loved ones at home. And so everyone is focused on, like I mentioned, it's in our very DNA and our ethos. We're focused on how do we make this a better workplace environment, right? And reward our staff. We still have to be cognizant of, mindful of, that the real bosses are our policyholders and our shareholders, but how do we make this a vibrant, a palpable energy is felt when you walk into our doors? How do we recreate that on a daily, weekly, monthly, and annual basis? And we set out as a team to focus on doing that.
I like how you describe the various bosses. Of course, some people might say that technology is becoming a boss in its own right, and you're a very tech-forward company. You blend insurance, insurtech, and aggregation. So how do you ensure that your team stays engaged and motivated while adapting to these rapid technological changes in the industry?
Well, there's a one-word answer, but I will bloviate and pontificate a bit more, right? So the one-word answer is intentionality. So I myself and our leadership team is absolutely intentional about remaining tech forward. Just a small plug for one of my books that talks about that, right? Tech forward, tech enabled, or tech shackled. Every leader in every firm has to figure out how they're going to handle AI, deploy AI, and not disrupt their existing the system of people and processes. But with respect to the question about the tech forward pieces, there are a lot of softwares or software as a service or AI infused platforms that is trying to replace people. We look at tech as enhancing our current workflow. How does it help our people deliver a better client experience? And how do we not become tech shackled by just buying the next thing off the shelf that promises to do a lot, but really confuses our people and makes it harder to do business with us?
Another one of your phrases that I like a lot, Jeff, is famously friendly humans. Of course, that's a key part of the Rightsure brand. So how do you foster that friendliness and customer-centric mindset internally? And how does it translate into employee satisfaction and then employee retention?
Well, I love the nomenclature, the famously friendly humans, or tagline that we've become to be known by. It exists because all of our people are encouraged to deliver moments of wow, right? Like, so you've called, everyone listening or seeing this has called someplace, hung up a phone, or visited someplace and left with just awe, this inspiring moment of how do they get those kind of people? Well, we get them because we create it internally, right? Every single member of our staff has a standard and benchmark, like a relationship that they need to connect, seek a connection on every call, on every visit, right? What's the standard? This is what you need to do. What is the benchmark? This is the follow-up. And at the core of all that is being present, being in the moment, focusing on the customer. It sounds easy. It is not, right? It is a learned thing. It has to be taught. People have to keep getting pressed up against where they missed it. But once you get that inside, again, your culture, use that word again, it becomes part of everything you do. And, the reviews on our Google and the people that refer people to us by the thousands, is a testament to this famously friendly human. So famously friendly human is just this. It's when you leave an interaction with anyone in our firm, if you hang up on the phone or you exit one of the doors, you are just still bewildered and amazed at why every company can't treat someone like that. And look, at the end of the day, we all do the same thing everyone else in this industry does. We sell legal contracts, right? And these legal contracts can be confusing. They can be exclusionary. You have to know what endorsements to add, the insurance stuff. But we don't all have to look the same. We can treat people in a way that they weren't expected to be treating and leave them just feeling very happy and understanding that there's an energy and something about Rightsure or a Rightsure member that exists nowhere else.
Yeah, I love that passion that you have. But another real hallmark of your success is the fact that it's been built with numerous mergers and acquisitions. It's so hard for companies to kind of get those M&As across the line, but then really make people culturally fit. So how do you maintain a cohesive and supportive workplace culture during periods of such significant change and integration?
Yeah, Paul, I'm old enough to remember the Wall Street movie with Gordon Gekko who said greed is good. I don't know if you remember that. The reason I think about that when you mention the acquisitions is change is good, right? So change is very good. However, change scares a lot of people. So in any of the acquisitions we've done, we've been fortunate to do 42 different acquisitions, but every single one of those brings about change, not only to our culture, which is very, very important that we hold that because we have to get new people to be famously friendly, but it also scares incoming folks. And so we have to be, again, very intentional about who we acquire. And in fact, I've walked away from a few deals because it just would not be a fit culturally. Right. So ours is very kind of a servant leadership. It's not type A alpha male driven. It's inclusive. It's gaining feedback and keenly aware of how change impacts people, how change impacts processes, how change impacts companies. It can be good or bad. So back to the Gordon Gekko statement, change is good, but you have to be aware about how this change is going to impact not only your systems and processes and the new policyholders, but most importantly for us, the famously friendly humans in training that will now be part of us.
Just leave us with some tips as well, Jeff, if you don't mind. Are there any specific programs, benefits, leadership strategies that you've found most effective when it comes to attracting and in turn retaining top talent in, again, what is such a competitive industry?
It has been a trial and error process for us, like anyone listening would be nodding your head in agreement that it's not, there's nothing out of the box. You have to figure out what works with your people and your processes. For us, every single member of our leadership team is engaged in and has been engaged in for years, succession planning. And what that means is not so much focused on retirement, because a lot of people hear that word and think, oh, to retire. It exists for us to get that leader into the next position, right? The next layer of leadership. And it might not be vertical. It could be horizontal, or it could just be running something different. But they have to have the division that they're running now and their direct reports to a place where they know everything to do and they've all been trained. And that happens by succession planning. And in fact, we have over 380 different systems, and many of them fall in different categories. Like finance has a set of succession planning things they have to do. Sales does, operations, underwriting. Each of them have their own succession planning checklist or Excel, for lack of a better word, that they have to master and have their direct reports and one beneath that mastered before they can move on. If you think about it like this, if I grew up in the theater, I'm a thespian by heart, and I love acting still to this day. There's always an understudy right off stage, ready to step in if something happens. And in our company, that's the same thing. There's someone participating in its succession planning if something happens to someone, or if they have the opportunity to move on throughout our organization. And of course, lastly, Paul, a lot of people come inside Rightsure to recruit, right? Because we have this culture and this famously friendly human thing that wants to get replicated. And so there's a lot of pilfering that goes on in our industry. It's, of course, we lose a few and we still welcome them the best, but their people, their direct reports have to be ready for that. So to succinctly tie a bow on it there, Paul, it is that every member is involved in leadership training, coaching, and succession planning.
Well, that was a great bow to wrap it up with, without a doubt. I'm sure a lot of employers will be looking to emulate your success, Jeff. Huge congratulations again to both you and the Rightsure team on being named among this year's top insurance employers. And for more inspiration from the very best, well, keep it right here on Insurance Business TV.